Hello! In this presentation, we'll be discussing argumentative thesis statements. The thesis statement is the main purpose of the essay. It is the stance you will take and offers a brief explanation of the supporting points you'll use. Since an argumentative paper's goal is to convince the reader of a position, the thesis statement should reflect that. It should present a topic which is arguable. There must be two sides to the argument. It should also be clear which side of the argument you are taking. Deciding one's stance on a particular topic should be done early in the writing process. Brainstorming and free writing can be helpful in deciding what angle to take. As you take a side, consider the implications of the research you're conducting to try to find relevant sources that reinforce the main point. In an argumentative essay, addressing counterarguments is important to establishing the credibility of the essay. This can be done in a number of different ways. One is to make the initial argument in one section of the essay and address the counterargument later on. The other is to address the counterarguments after presenting the initial argument. These are called the AB and ABAB techniques, respectively. Creating an argument can seem daunting at first, but there are a few key things to focus on. Ensure that the facts being presented are supported by solid and well-researched evidence. Avoid irrelevant or unclear arguments. Keep in mind the importance of each argument and present them accordingly. Work toward a conclusion which is clearly stated at the end. Relate to the audience's values. Finally, communicate confidently. The more confident you are in your argument, the more effectively you will be able to convince others. To review, clearly address the prompt. Make a clear and definite argument. Keep the thesis concise and place it at the beginning of the essay, and avoid first and second person pronouns. Let's try out an activity. What makes a thesis argumentative? Argumentative essays require that the author take a clear, unambiguous stance on a topic where there are two clear sides. List 3 things you can do to create an argumentative thesis. Consider the structure of thesis statements in general, as well as how one's argument should be formed in order to answer this question. Define the AB structure of an argumentative essay. The AB structure has a clear delineation between the initial argument and the counter-arguments that will be addressed. Define or give an example of the AB-AB structure for an argumentative essay. The AB-AB structure addresses counter-arguments as the argument is raised. Keep this in mind. Name 5 things that an argumentative thesis should be or that an argumentative thesis should do. Keep in mind the qualities discussed earlier, such as how the thesis is to be structured, or how it should factor into the conclusion. We hope that this workshop has been useful. If you have any further questions or would like individual help with a literary analysis, please feel free to stop by for a one-on-one session with one of our tutors.